Tapped Out to Pro Wrestling, a new revolutionary force in wrestling YouTube videos.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Tapped Out to Pro Wrestling YouTube channel video. Folks, we are getting very, very close to John Cena no longer being with us in the WWE universe, and it is very sad to think about. I hate thinking about it. But, you know, today we got to talk about who we believe is going to be John Cena's final opponent. Now, of course, there is an entire tournament going on right now, and I can sit here and talk about who's going to win the tournament. But what I want to talk about here today is who is going to be LA Knight's mystery opponent in this tournament. Obviously, Nick Aldis pulled the balls out of the bag. The cage thing, whatever. And LA Knight, of course, is going to be facing a mystery opponent. Now, it kind of sucks to think that this mystery opponent more than likely is going to be the guy to go all the way in the tournament. Well, maybe. We don't know that for sure, but you never know. If he is, it sucks to think that he's probably going to tear through LA Knight. Well, folks, we're not here to talk about LA Knight necessarily. We're here to talk about who that mystery opponent could be, and if they do go all the way, who will that person be to face John Cena? So let's get into that right now. I have a couple of entrants in this video that might be a bit, overzealous. They might not be as true as real life. But, we're just kind of having fun with this video. I just want to talk about people who I would love to see as John Cena's last opponent. So let's get into it. Kicking it off with one that, like I was saying a second ago, might be a bit much. The Great Khali. Obviously, the Great Khali was a really big rival in John Cena's career. There was one point where these guys were having a really big blood feud. It ended with John Cena tossing this man off of the stage. Well, no, didn't he AA him off of a car, right? Is that what he did? I don't know. Y'all can correct me right now. But the Great Khali, I think it would be crazy to see the Great Khali enter this tournament and go all the way. But, obviously that's more than likely not going to happen. Maybe Randy Orton wants one more crack at the never-seen 17 world champion. Obviously, John Cena is no longer the world champion, but when he was a bad guy, and he took on Randy Orton. And maybe Randy Orton wants a little bit more than the match that he had with John Cena. Maybe he wants one more go-around with John Cena so he can make it 3 times better than the match that they had. But who knows? Maybe Randy Orton doesn't want anything to do with the tournament and he's happy with the match that he had with John Cena. Maybe he's happy to just say that he wrapped up with one of John Cena's final matches. But I don't know. Maybe this one is another one that could be a bit too much. Again, folks, this one might be a bit much, but maybe LA Knight's mystery opponent is somebody that he's been feuding with over the past couple of weeks. The world champion CM Punk. And maybe CM Punk goes all the way to take on John Cena and maybe even defend the world championship against John Cena. And maybe John Cena retires as the WWE world champion. But I don't know about that. Again, that might be a bit of a stretch, but it's just interesting to think about. What if CM Punk decided he wanted one more shot, just like I was saying about Randy Orton a second ago, and gets that shot against John Cena? But again, maybe it's a stretch. We keep talking about guys who would want one more shot at John Cena because a match they had during this final run tour maybe wasn't the best. And maybe Cody Rhodes maybe wants one more shot. They had a fantastic SummerSlam match, but maybe Cody Rhodes just wants to feel that voltage one more time. Maybe Cody Rhodes wants to feel what it's like to be in the ring with the never-seen 17 one more time at Saturday night's main event. But I don't know. Again, maybe, and I keep saying it, a bit of a stretch. Just like I was saying about the World Championship, maybe Dominic Mysterio ends up being LA Knight's mystery opponent, and maybe Dominic goes all the way and has an Intercontinental Championship match with John Cena, and John Cena ends up retiring as the Intercontinental Champion. But I don't know. Dominic Mysterio seems a little bit too busy with his father at the moment, but it would be pretty interesting to see John Cena, Dominic Mysterio, one time in the ring. John Cena gets his last chance to win the Intercontinental Championship. But, again, a bit of a stretch. Now here is a pretty insane one. What if Shawn Michaels was just sitting in his office at NXT and he said to himself, you know what? Maybe I want one last shot against John Cena. We had tremendous matches at WrestleMania 23 and even on Monday Night Raw in the UK. Maybe I'm the man who should take on John Cena in his final match because we've had such classics. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Clearly, I don't have a figure, but here is a picture of a Nick Aldis figure because maybe Nick Aldis pulled that ball out of his cage and it had his name on it. You know, maybe he was the man who wanted that shot against John Cena in his final ever match. I mean, obviously that would be breaking so many codes as a general manager, but maybe that's exactly what he wants to do. He wants to have his first breakout match in WWE be John Cena's last. Maybe. This one's a maybe. Maybe Paul Heyman had something to say about it. Maybe Paul Heyman had some words with Nick Aldis, the SmackDown general manager, and got Braun Breaker in the tournament. Maybe they were talking about some Braun Breaker appearances on SmackDown that could help the brand. And now Nick Aldis says, well, Braun Breaker wants a shot at John Cena. Let's put him in the tournament. He sees this as great television. He would love to see John Cena take on Braun Breaker as much as we all would, because that would be a fantastic match, and what a way to help Braun Breaker's career. But maybe not. Now here's one that I feel like could be the most realistic. Everybody has been saying recently that Gunther could be making his comeback to Friday Night SmackDown and end up taking on John Cena in his very final match. I mean, we would all love to see Gunther take on John Cena. We all remember when the reports were saying that it was leaked that Gunther was going to be John Cena's final opponent. So maybe that is the case. Maybe Gunther does insert himself, well, not insert himself, but get picked out by Nick Aldis to be in this tournament, and it happens. But I don't know. I mean, again, the most realistic one so far. And we're back into unrealistic territory. Ladies and gentlemen, what if Kurt Angle came back from retirement and entered this tournament because he said to himself, you know, I want to be John Cena's final opponent. I want to have that one last match against John Cena to show John Cena that I can still hang with a guy like him. I mean, obviously, he's the tapped out to Pro Wrestling United States champion. Well, you know. But what if, man? What if Kurt Angle came back from retirement, came out of retirement to take on John Cena in his very last match? I mean, he was already robbed out of having that WrestleMania match with him. What if he says, what if we both go out together and retire in one last match? Kurt Angle and John Cena, one last match to go out in glory. That would be amazing. Another one people have been saying, but I gotta say, is kind of insane. People have been saying that maybe the rated R superstar Cope ends up coming to the WWE. People are saying that maybe Tony Khan worked out a deal with Triple H so that Edge can come back home to the WWE for a couple appearances to enter this tournament, take on LA Knight, go the entire way, and then finally take on John Cena. But again, I don't know how well AEW and WWE work together. As I've heard in the past from another video, somebody said maybe Adam Copeland could be in the crowd for John Cena's final match and they get the camera on him. But, you know, I don't realistically see him being John Cena's final opponent, but maybe the world is going to shock us. Maybe the stars are going to align for this one and we will get this match. And then finally, what if The Rock... Wait, let me fix his chain. Make his chain look realistic. There we go. And then finally, what if The Rock, the final boss, the final man in this video, were to come back to the WWE to be John Cena's final opponent? The heel turn didn't work out so well. So what if The Rock said, you know what, John, for you, I will come back for this tournament. I will go all the way, and you and I will go out in a blaze of glory. What if The Rock and John Cena had one final last match against each other? Yeah, I don't really see this one happening either. But folks, let me know what you think about the people that I have added in this video who could possibly be taking on John Cena, but some of them not so much. And, let me know in the comments who you guys would love to see take on John Cena in the comments box down below. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on who you want to see take on the never seen 17 John Cena, the greatest of all time. Yeah, if you enjoyed this video, of course, you guys know what to do. Hit that subscribe button and tap that bell notification so you never miss an upload. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
You ain't I'm stuck up in my ways, but love it when I'm playing games. That's the only